All right, so you've sent us tons of info on bongos.
Yeah.
Honestly, before today, I couldn't have told you much beyond like some kind of antelope, right?
Right.
But this whole deep dive, especially after that YouTube video, like 50 bongo facts, I am hooked.
Oh, wow.
So, expert speaker, you're our wildlife guru. Where do we even begin with these majestic creatures?
Well, I think the video really emphasizes right off the bat just how big these animals are. They're the largest and heaviest forest antelope.
Largest and heaviest.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive when you think about, their environment. I'm picturing like dense rainforests.
Yeah.
It's not like open plains where you can just kind of, roam free.
No, they're in those dense, like lush green landscapes of Central Africa.
Yeah.
Countries like Kenya, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And actually, there are two subspecies.
Yeah.
The lowland bongo and the mountain bongo.
Oh.
And sadly, the mountain bongo is critically endangered.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to talk more about that.
Yeah, definitely.
But before we get like too serious, can we talk about how gorgeous these animals are?
Yeah.
That YouTube video has some amazing footage. Reddish brown coat, white stripes, it's like nature's camouflage masterpiece, perfectly designed for that, dappled rainforest light.
Yeah.
And those horns.
Yes.
Both males and females have them.
Yeah, they do.
And they're like spiraled, elegant, almost like a crown.
Yeah, yeah. And the males can weigh over 900 pounds.
Whoa.
The females are a bit smaller.
Okay, so now I'm like revising my mental image.
Yeah.
We've got like this large, beautiful animal, but also like there's this air of mystery about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the video calls them the ghosts of the forest.
Right.
So, but what about their behavior? Are they as elusive as they sound?
Absolutely. They're crepuscular, meaning they're most active at dawn and dusk.
Oh, okay.
And the video even shows some footage through, like, night vision cameras.
Oh.
It's amazing to see them moving so fluidly, almost silently, through the darkness.
Wow.
You have to consider they're sharing their habitat with predators like leopards, lions, hyenas,
Right.
even pythons.
Whoa. Pythons. Okay, that's a whole other level of scary.
Yeah.
It sounds like these ghosts need some serious skills to survive.
They do. Incredibly sharp senses. The video mentions their hearing is especially acute.
Oh.
And they're really agile, able to, weave through that dense vegetation.
I bet.
And get this, they're good swimmers too.
Wait, hold on. Antelope.swimming?
Yeah.
Okay, I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, so if a predator gets too close, they can use waterways as an escape route.
Wow, they really are breaking all my preconceptions.
Uh-huh.
So we've got like this large, beautiful, surprisingly athletic animal. But are they like loners? Do they have like a social side? Are there big bongo parties in the rainforest?
Well, not exactly big parties.
Mm-hmm.
They live in smaller groups, usually between like 5 to 15 individuals.
Okay.
But they can be solitary too. It really depends.
Oh.
Like, mating season or whether females are raising young.
So maybe more like intimate bongo gatherings then.
Sure.
But how do they communicate? Do they have like secret bongo handshakes?
Not handshakes, but their sense of smell is really important.
Ah, okay.
They have this like unique odor that helps them identify each other and maintain their social bonds. They also communicate through a variety of sounds, viewing, snorting, even bellowing.
Okay, bellowing, that's something I want to hear. Not exactly what I would have pictured from, seemingly shy creatures.
Right.
But it makes me think about how they interact with their environment, like their diet. I'm guessing, leaves, shrubs, anything surprising on the bongo menu?
You're right. They're primarily browsers, so lots of leaves, bushes, fruits, even some grasses.
Okay.
But the video highlights their prehensile tongue, just like a giraffe's.
Oh, wow.
Able to grip and pull down branches for those hard-to-reach snacks.
A prehensile tongue. Okay, that's an adaptation I can get behind. It's
Yeah.
like a built-in grabbing tool.
Right.
But the video mentioned something else about clay.
Yes. This is where things get really fascinating.
Okay.
Bongos sometimes eat clay.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, certain plants in their diet contain toxins, and the clay helps neutralize those toxins.
Ah, like their own natural medicine.
Exactly.
That makes you realize how much we don't know about, the natural world and the ways animals have adapted. We're learning so much. We're just scratching the surface.
Right.
Well, I'm ready for the next layer of this bongo deep dive. What else have you uncovered?
It's really amazing to think about. Like, these animals have developed these incredible adaptations over millions of years, right?
Yeah.
Just in response to the challenges of where they live.
Yeah, yeah.
It really makes you appreciate the balance of nature.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's a reminder that even, small changes to that habitat can have like ripple effects through their whole, existence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of adaptations, what else kind of jumped out at you from the video?
Well, one thing I thought was really interesting is, we talked about those horns.
Yeah, this beautiful spiraled horn.
Both males and females have them, and they're not just for show.
Right.
They actually use them for, a lot of different things, like defense, of course,
Right.
but also for communication, for marking their territory.
Okay, now I'm picturing like epic bongo battles in the rainforest, horns clashing.
Uh-huh.
But how do they use them for communication?
Well, the video showed some cool footage of them, like, rubbing their horns on trees.
Oh, okay.
And that leaves both, like, scent markings and visual cues for other bongos.
So it's like their way of saying, like, this is my turf.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, bongos only.
I love that. But wait, there was something about them, like, sharpening their horns, too.
Yeah, yeah. They use trees to sharpen their horns. Like, they rub them to keep them nice and smooth and pointed.
So resourceful.
Yeah.
It just reminds us that, like, animals are always interacting with their environment in ways we might not even, like, think about.
Totally.
It's like those rainforest trees are, like, multi-purpose bongo salons, right? Offering, like, scent marking, territory claims, and horn sharpening, all in one. But sadly, like we mentioned earlier, these incredible creatures are facing threats. The video mentioned habitat loss is a major one, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Habitat loss is a big one.
Yeah.
As those rainforests are being cleared for agriculture, for other human activities,
Yeah.
and as their habitat shrinks, it makes them more vulnerable to things like hunting.
It's so sad to think about these animals losing their homes because of us.
Yeah.
You mentioned hunting, too.
Yeah, unfortunately, they sometimes hunted for their meat.
Oh.
It's considered a delicacy in some cultures.
Oh, wait.
And then their horns, are sometimes sought after as trophies.
It's just a stark reminder that, like, our choices have real consequences for these animals.
They do.
But surely there are, efforts underway to protect them, right?
Yes, definitely.
What did the video highlight in terms of conservation efforts?
Well, the video talks about, establishing protected areas.
Yeah, okay.
Which can give them a safe haven, to live, to
Yeah.
breed without human interference.
Yeah, creating those safe spaces, that seems crucial.
It is.
But protected areas can only do so much, right?
Right.
Especially if those threats like poaching are still happening outside.
Yeah.
So what else can be done?
Well, captive breeding programs are also a really important tool.
Okay.
They're carefully managed, of course.
Yeah.
But it's a way to help, increase their numbers.
Yeah.
And make sure there's, good genetic diversity.
So it's like a two-pronged approach, right?
Yeah.
Protect the natural habitats and then supplement the populations through captive breeding.
Exactly.
It sounds like a challenging task.
It is.
But hopefully these efforts will make a difference.
They are. And, what's really encouraging is the video also talks about CITES.
CITES.
Yeah, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species.
Oh, right. CITES.
Yeah, it's an international agreement to make sure, endangered species aren't being overexploited through trade.
Yeah.
And bongos are actually listed under Appendix 3.
Appendix 3. So that means there are restrictions on trading bongo products.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a way for different countries to work together to monitor the trade.
Yeah.
Make sure things are being done sustainably, to combat illegal wildlife trade.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's heartening to know that there are international efforts in place.
There are.
It really underscores how interconnected all this is. We're not just talking bongo biology, but also like human behavior.
Right. Conservation efforts, international agreements. It's a complex web.
It is.
And it's inspiring to see so many people working to protect these animals.
It is. And, one thing the video points out is that, bongo populations aren't evenly distributed.
Right.
They face different threats.
Oh, okay.
Different conservation needs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It depends on where they are.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that conservation isn't like one size fits all.
It's not.
It needs to be tailored to the specific challenges.
Yeah, for sure.
But before we get too deep into those details, I'm curious about some of the other fascinating facts that this video uncovered.
Okay.
What else stood out to you?
Well, one thing I thought was interesting is, how bongo calves?
Yeah.
They're actually hidden for quite a while after they're born.
Really? Like they're playing an extended game of hide and seek.
Yeah, like in really dense vegetation.
Why do they do that?
Protection, you know?
Yeah.
Those calves are really vulnerable.
Right. So they stay hidden. Mom takes care of them.
Yeah.
They stay hidden until they're strong enough to keep up with the herd.
Those early days must be so crucial for their survival.
Yeah.
Really emphasizes the importance of protecting, both the mothers and the calves.
Absolutely.
But speaking of, thriving, how long do these creatures actually live?
Well, they can live up to 20 years in the wild.
20 years. Wow.
Which is pretty impressive.
That's amazing. It's like, they're living a whole bongo lifetime out there.
They are.
Navigating all these dangers, raising their young. It really makes those conservation efforts even more crucial.
It does.
Knowing that each individual can have such a lasting impact. But speaking of impact, did the video mention anything about their role in the ecosystem?
It does.
Okay.
It doesn't go into a ton of detail, but it does mention that they're really important for seed dispersal.
Seed dispersal.
Yeah.
So they're like the gardeners of the rainforest.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
So as they're browsing on those fruits and vegetation, they inevitably eat some seeds.
Right.
And then those seeds get spread around the forest.
Oh, through their droppings. Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
So that helps ensure that the plant life can regenerate.
It does. It does.
Wow. So they're not just beautiful and elusive. They're also like playing this vital role in keeping that rainforest ecosystem going.
They are.
It's like a domino effect, right? Every action they take has these repercussions for the environment around them. But speaking of repercussions, I'm wondering about like the long-term consequences of those threats that we talked about. What's the outlook, especially for those critically endangered mountain bongos?
Well, the video paints a somewhat sobering picture.
Oh, okay.
While there is hope thanks to those conservation efforts,
Yeah.
their future is still pretty uncertain.
Right.
The mountain bongo in particular faces a very real risk of extinction.
It's a stark reminder that we can't take these animals for granted.
I can't.
Their survival really truly depends on us and what we do.
Yeah. And every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Whether it's supporting organizations that are working to protect them,
Right.
spreading awareness, just making conscious choices in our own lives to reduce our impact.
Yeah.
Every little bit can make a difference.
This deep dive has been such an eye-opener. We've gone from knowing next to nothing to understanding their lives in such detail.
We have.
And we've learned so much about, those challenges they face.
Yeah.
And the efforts that are being made. But I have a feeling this YouTube video still has a few more surprises for us.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think we've only just scratched the surface.
Well, let's keep diving in. What other bongo secrets are out there?
Okay, back for the final part of our bongo deep dive. And I gotta say, this whole experience has been a roller coaster. Like I've gone from clueless to feeling like weirdly protective of these animals.
Oh, I get it.
It's amazing how learning, even just a little, can change your whole perspective.
It is. Knowledge really is power, right?
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about conservation. The more we understand,
Yeah.
the more we can appreciate them and want to protect them.
Absolutely. But before we get too sappy, I'm dying to know what other bongo revelations are in store for us.
Okay.
What else did you find?
Well, we've talked about their size, their looks, even their poop.
Yeah.
But one thing we haven't really touched on is how incredibly agile they are.
Okay.
That video has some crazy footage of them leaping over obstacles.
Wait, leaping? Like how high are we talking?
Pretty high, like up to 6 feet.
6 feet?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Think about that, a 900-pound animal.
I mean, that's like they're rainforest high jumpers.
Right.
I'm starting to think those white stripes aren't just camouflage. They're like racing stripes. But seriously, with that kind of athleticism, their hooves must be pretty special, right? They are. The video actually talks about how bongo hooves are quite unique. They're broad and a bit splayed, which gives them like excellent traction on that soft, uneven rainforest floor.
Makes sense.
And get this, they can spread their hooves even wider
Oh, wow.
to distribute their weight so they don't sink into the mud.
It's like rainforest